Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. My name is Caroline Heward and I'm known as the Harley Street Stress Expert. Our show today is Talking Heads and I'm an expert presenter in today's topic, which is suffering from end of year, New Year blues. It's part of the mind and body connection experience and series. Let's begin. I'd like to start with a Buddha quote to really set the scene of how we're going to look at end of year. You cannot suffer the past or future because they do not exist. What you are suffering is your memory and your imagination. You know, that's so profound. I'm going to say it again because it's going to set the scene for everything we're going to look at today. You cannot suffer the past or future because they do not exist. What you are suffering is your memory and your imagination. Because the past and the future, they reside in the mind, and they're in a memory that you're creating for the future or a memory of the past. So let's get right into it with SAD, seasonal affective disorder. It is a well-known fact, especially in climates and times where it's winter. You may not be in winter all over the world at this time, but you will have a winter. So I want you to look at this as when it's your winter. Seasonal affective disorder is related to when there is less light, when there is more dark than there is light. So the nights are longer, there is less sunshine. And it is an absolute well-known understanding and fact that the lack of sunshine affects our mood. It affects our mind and affects our stability in terms of being able to feel happy. Have you ever noticed that when the sun comes out, everybody sort of brightens up and the clothes get brighter and you feel different? There's more smiley people. Certainly coming from England, we don't get a lot of sunshine and we don't get a lot of really lovely weather. So when we do, it's like an explosion of smiles and an explosion of people going to the beach because we don't get it very often. And so it's because we want to overdose on it. We want to take more of it. We want to soak it up. And that's because it makes us feel good. There are certainly people that have come from different countries and they've settled in places like England, people from places like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Australia, New Zealand, some of the warmer climates, America, the places that are much, much warmer. And they come here and we seem to have a lot more colder weather than they have, that they're used to. And the winters are long. And the nights are long, the nights are dark. And this affects our mood. It affects our feeling. It affects the way that we cope. Now, when I was growing up in the 1980s, and I'd left school, we had a thing that we did, and it was a bit of an experience that the young people did after they left school, because there was a lot of doom and gloom at the time when I left school, a lot of uprising, a lot of strikes and things that weren't very good. And we left school and we were the happy bunch. We wanted to sort of let rip and be happy. And there was such a thing that we used called sunshine glasses. They were huge, huge, huge glasses that were painted different colors. And when you put them on, your world looked sunny. You actually saw everything in tons of sunshine. And this came out, it was just a brilliant, brilliant idea of someone, some incredible creative genius that wanted people to feel good and happy. And these sunshine glasses changed and lifted your mood. And there were so many people that were wearing them. It was just a craze. And they were overly large and overly ridiculous. And they were overly fun too. And I have seen, certainly in recent years, people wearing these very tinted glasses in the tubes, in the underground, and when they really don't need sunglasses of a description. And yet, when I ask them, because I'm always interested when somebody's wearing something different, and if it feels comfortable, I will pose the question. And I've been told that they're wearing these glasses because it makes their world shine. It gives them sunshine. And when you see your world in a place of sunshine and light, it affects your mood. It's an absolute well-known fact. And so I highly endorse the person that created these sunshine glasses. I'm sure they have a specific technical name. It affects your mood. It affects your ability to create and affects your stability in life. It gives you more of the happy chemicals in your body and makes you feel good. Good to be alive, and gives you that vibe. This is real seasonal affective disorder. And many people that are in winter time at this time of year, in December, late December, are in an experience of SAD, which is short for seasonal affective disorder. So why do I feel sad at the end of the year? We can feel sad for all sorts of reasons. You'll be surprised how many different reasons that we can feel sad for. It's at a time that we are being pushed to feel happy. It's a time that is characterized in social media, on the TV, on the radio, as a time of celebration, as a time of giving, of receiving, of feeling good, of feeling happy. But what about if that doesn't fit your world? What about if there is no happy family? What about if you've recently lost somebody very close to you, a sibling, a loved one, a partner? What about if there's a sibling that has passed away recently? What about your wife, your husband? They might be sick or unwell. They may have dementia. They may have an illness that prevents them from being who they used to be or how they want to be. They may be suffering from a life condition that's terminal. There are all sorts of reasons why we might feel sad. This is a crystalline understanding of the fact that it's not happy for a lot of people at this time of year. Because we remember, especially in families when we're sitting around the table, there's that missing place, that person that's missing from the Christmas table, that person that's missing from our lives at the time when families get together. So what do we do? Do we remember them? Of course we do. And when we remember them, it brings us into a state of sadness because we're in a celebration, and yet we have a missing person at the table, a missing loved one. And it's real, and it's about how we cope. Do we do what we're supposed to do and brush ourselves down and ignore everything and just carry on through that false feeling of happiness? Do we generate that smile that we're supposed to be in our happy space? Or do we shed a tear because a loved one is missing, a sibling, a son, a daughter, a husband, a wife, a partner, a friend, somebody you care about, a cousin, an aunt, an uncle? Because they're relevant to your life, and because it's an important time of year, we remember them. And it brings up all those feelings of the fact they're not with us anymore. So what's wrong with that? Let me tell you, there is nothing wrong with you feeling sad at the loss of somebody that's close to you at this time of year. Nothing. Allow those feelings, because those feelings mean that they're human. You're human. It's okay to feel. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to remember them. It's okay if that relationship, that marriage broke down. And it's okay to remember the good times of the person that you were with. It's deemed appropriate that we should be happy. And actually, sometimes this time of year, the end of year, makes us remember the people and the things we lost, that job we lost, the promotion, the culture, the lifestyle of our hometown, our home city, our home country, the family, the relationship, the friendships, the people that are no longer with us anymore, either if they've passed away or if they've moved on in other relationships and friendships. We remember, and it's okay to remember. And I want to give you that permission. It's absolutely okay to remember. Even if you shed a few tears, you feel sad, it's completely okay. Because if you allow those feelings and emotions to come up, in the moment that you feel them, you will be surprised how long, how short those feelings last. It's the fact that we push them down and push them away because we don't feel that we should express how we really feel. That causes the problems. So here's your permission. It's okay to feel sad at this time of year. It's okay to remember. Other reasons why we might feel sad is that we're not doing so well as what some of our counterparts are doing, some of our friends are doing, some of our peers are doing. We've suffered a loss, a promotion. We've suffered a financial loss. The world is going through some very estranged and crazy times right now. And many people have lost the way that they were living and the way that they were experiencing life through their work, through their occupation, and through their lifestyle. Many people have adapted and thriving in that adaptation. And many people are not surviving, are not coping in our changed times. And it's okay. Whatever you are experiencing, it is okay. It's okay to be in the space of being not okay. Sometimes we feel pressured and forced to be totally okay. And it is okay when we feel not okay. And you will gather the people around you that you feel safe with not being okay with. Because we're human and we're having a human experience. And you will be surprised when you step into that moment of not being okay at the end of the year and at the time of New Year, of a new beginning, to move through that space of not being okay. will be transformational for you. To accept, to feel, will be completely transformational. It's when we push down and we feel it's not okay to express and to be not okay, that this creates a challenge, not only for ourselves, for others. This can actually then create a manifestation of trauma in our body. I invite you to celebrate the humanness of being okay with whatever you feel right now at this time, to be totally comfortable with however you feel. It's when we suppress what we feel that creates our challenges in life. When we openly express and allow whatever comes up, it's incredibly transformational how fast we move through that moment in time. It could be that things haven't gone so well for you. Look at what you've learned. Look at how you've grown. And look at the fact that you're still here. This is your time to move forward, to learn from the past, and to grow into our coming year. Let's look at the end of year blues and how they get created. We might have high expectations at the beginning of the year of what we want to do and what we want to create. And life gets in the way. Things get in the way. The environment gets in the way. The laws change. Things change. And then we don't deliver or get the outcomes that we drew on our expectations at the beginning of the year. To expect, when we expect something, that can actually lead to a disappointment. So my invitation for you, rather than to expect something, to create something, to move towards the place of creation rather than expectation. Move your desires into creation. And when you focus on what do you want to create, that moves the expectation away. Sadness of leaving a year behind, of the good things as well as the not so good things, as well as the things that challenged us. At the end of a year, there is for some people a sadness, a tearfulness. Tears can be tears of joy. Tears can be tears of sadness. But overall, tears are a letting go of what was. And when we let go of what was, we can allow space to bring in what's wonderful in the new year. When we look back and reflect on the finances, some people have done really, really well. Some people have blossomed financially. Some people have really struggled financially. And others are coping financially, surviving. Whether you're coping or whether you're in abundance financially, I see and hear people have struggles either way. And so financial abundance doesn't always mean happiness. It doesn't always give you everything. It gives you an ability to pay for things. The financial stability is what it can give you. It doesn't buy you happiness. So the ones that have earned and done well financially are not always the happiest of people. In fact, they may be the loneliest of people who've done well financially, but not feeling good in terms of the family and their personal lives. Looking back at the end of the year may bring a state of loneliness. How much time did you spend on your own? Not with family, not with friends, not doing the things that you love because of restrictions, because of financial pressures, because of costs changing, rising. How much financial investment did you have to do all the things that you love to do? Sometimes the end of the year can bring us into a place of where we feel best to hide away, especially if you're living in climates that are challengingly cold and dark. When you don't feel great, sometimes the thing to do is to hide under the duvet, to have a duvet day, we call them. The Brits call it a duvet day, to hide under the covers, hoping that the next day will be better. End of year can bring exhaustion. All the preparation and the planning and all the shopping and moving around in the challenged temperatures of it being either too hot in some places or too cold. Certainly in England, we've had the coldest temperatures in the last few months, and it's brought crazy weather of snow and ice, which can be challenging. So we take extra time to move through and get things done. But the exhaustion of remembering everything, of getting everything just perfect, can create a toll on us. When we look back, we might look back on our year and reflect on failures. We may look back on regrets, what we didn't do, what we could have done, what we wanted to do, what we set out to do and didn't achieve. These things are not exhaustive, but it gives you some idea of why some people might have end-of-year blues. As one door closes, another door opens. As we end a year, it is a time that people will look back and reflect. Many people look back and reflect on the happiest of times. But we have been in a world of change times that we've had to adapt. And for some, it's been harder. For others, it's been easy. And for some, it's been hugely challenging. Families, relationships, friendships. There is a divide, but we are all human, having a human experience. One of the things that I do, which I find really, really cathartic, is I do an end of year, I call it a Christmas newsletter. And it makes me reflect. And because I do it in a newsletter style, it's a A4 front and back, 2-page. It makes me focus on the things that were good, the things that were difficult, the challenges. But I have very little room to write lots of detail. So I like to use that newsletter as a reflection of the year. And even when there's challenge times, I'm always surprised of the fact that I still manage to do some great stuff. And it's so cathartic for me to do that I put it into the Christmas card of my whole family and close friends that I send a Christmas card to. Now, little did I appreciate that the 1 year that I didn't do it, and that was when my baby brother passed away, because it was too hard to write a newsletter at that time for me, that people were asking, friends and family were asking, where's your newsletter? We like your newsletter. And that really surprised me. It really shocked me and surprised me, because I actually learned that people read my newsletter. They'd like to know what I got up to. And it's actually incited other people, friends and family, to consider reflecting back on their year, looking at what I call the highlights and the lowlights, and always looking back in health and learning and grace, and looking forward to the following year. It's something that works for me, and I certainly have had some beautiful reflections when I've been doing these newsletters over the years. In fact, when I think I've not done very much, and I think that, it's not a great newsletter because it's not got as much in there, I've had some incredible feedback by saying that's your best newsletter yet. And it's when I go inwards that things become incredibly powerful. When we go in, it's not about the amount of money that we spend. It's not about the amount of things that we do that cost a lot of money. It's about how we're being in life to ourselves and to others, and how we're feeling, and how that projects outside into our external world. A Buddha quote, "The secret of health. The secret of health for both mind and body is not to mourn for the past, not to worry about the future, but to live in the present moment, wisely and earnestly." Do you know, this is so powerful? I'm going to say it again, because this is a really, really powerful metaphor. The secret of health for both mind and body is not to mourn for the past, nor to worry about the future, but to live the present moment wisely and earnestly. When we live in the moment of the moment that we're in right now, right in this moment, not in a past moment or a future moment, but right now, this is how we create incredible outcomes. It's amazing what we can create by literally being in the moment of the second that we're in right now. Depression resides in the mind. When we're not in the mind, we are of purity. We can create whatever we want. We can feel joy in that moment of being in our present moment and our present breath. The mind is an escape route for all things that are crazily affecting our health, affecting our mood, and affecting our emotions. Have you ever had that experience when you've thought about someone and a relationship that's broken down, or a person, a loved one that's no longer in your life anymore? And then suddenly you feel a little sad, maybe a tear. And then when you're in the moment that you're in, watching a squirrel play, or a dog barking and walking like they've not got a care in the world, or a child smiling and laughing and dancing and playing, there is no room for the mind to be sad or lonely or depressed or stressed or unhappy. There is no space for the health to be unwell. There is only the moment of that moment that you are in. This is a secret. This is a powerful secret. When we're in our mind, this is what creates the sickness of mind and the sickness of emotion and body. So let me invite you, as I've shared the secret to health of body and mind, to step into the present moment of the very moment that we're in. And you might recognize it. It's that time goes real fast. It's that moment where you've had a really nice meal with friends or family, at home or in a restaurant, where you've shared a meal. And time has gone quickly. Time has gone very quickly. Because there is no time. Time is a mind construct. Reality is the very moment of the moment that you live in right now. And when you are in that very moment of the moment, there is no pain. There is no stress. There is no depression. It's the thoughts that keep us locked in the pain of the past and the anxiety and the worry of the future. And when we come out of those two places and we come into the heart, all there is peace. I invite you to move into your heart by taking a breath into your heart and move into a place of inner peace and inner bliss. The monks know something, and they share their secrets every now and again in quotes and in memes. In the moment that you're dancing and enjoying yourself, there is no stress. The body moves along with the music, and the music moves you into a place of peace and fun. Every time I hear an ABBA song like Dancing Queen, it transports me back into that place when I was really young and free and carefree. And that's what music can do. What's your favourite piece of music that makes you feel good, that makes you feel alive, that makes you not have a care in the world? Turn on that piece of music, sing along, put your headset on, have fun, dance like no one can see you. Who cares what you look like? The fun of the dance and the song is in the present moment of the moment that you're in. This is the secret of your health. Moving into New Year, many people have this thing, New Year's resolutions come up. You know, when we talk about a resolution, we're kind of saying, you know, well, this was bad and that was good and this was bad. And New Year's resolutions is something that I almost think is a fallacy for some people, because they set themselves targets and resolutions that are almost unachievable. Some people achieve them and they're great. Some people find that it puts a pressure and expectation. Like they go to the gym every week, stop drinking, quit smoking, pay off your debt, save money, lose weight, eat healthily, phone your parents, go to the gym, find a new job. These are all like great things, meaningful things, the things that we're supposed to do and say and think. Now, have a guess what? Sometimes they're the hardest things because we're moving away from something that we don't want to be. So rather than saying, pay off the debts, you're focused on the debt. You're saying quit drinking, you're focused on the drinking. If you're saying lose weight, your focus is on the weight. The mind does not hear the negative. It just does not hear it. It only hears the negative. So when you're saying to yourself, I'm going to pay off all my debts, you're actually creating more debt. So focus on what you want to create in your life. And rather than pushing yourself into this resolution, this whole big deal of a resolution, decide what you'd like to do. Decide that you're going to make some different choices, some new choices this time of year. So New Year's resolutions for some work, but for many they don't. So you might want to focus on go on vacation, have more family time, be with the family, helping others. You know, when you help someone else, you actually help yourself. It's totally cathartic to give unconditionally to someone. It actually comes back to you tenfold. Learn new skills. This is something that is one of my mantras, to learn new things. And I actually push myself to learn new things so I can grow through the challenge of learning new things. Sometimes I learn a lot of new things and I push myself to a degree of not fitting in everything that I want to do. And it keeps me useful, it keeps me young, and it keeps my mind active in the good things, in the pleasurable things. Eat healthily. Decide what you want to eat. Make eat healthily enjoyable. Make it, if you like sauces, make the sauces healthy. Make your own sauces at home. If eating healthily means pain and means giving up the things that you love, that's not something that you're going to move towards. Eat healthy in a way that you enjoy it. Enjoy the things that you decide to do. Exercise. We always think about going to the gym and having greater exercise because we will feel better. And yes, it will make you feel better. But for the people that are in the winter climbs at the end of the year, it is much more challenging to come out into the duvet where it's warm and get out into the gym. Even though we feel so much better by doing it, sometimes it's a harder ask. So I invite you to do some exercises at home. Do something that makes you feel good at home. Sleep is really, really important. To sleep enough for you. What is enough for you might not be enough for other people. You may survive on a few hours of sleep, but the body needs to recoup and restore. It needs a restoration period. It's important to sleep enough for your personal needs. When we are feeling the pressure of suffering from end of year, it can affect our sleep. We might not get enough sleep. We might sleep too much as an escape. It might affect our weight. We might lose weight, or we might gain weight. We might be eating for comfort, or not eating at all, being the martyr. We may suddenly lose lots of weight or gain lots of weight, and the diet hasn't changed. Because problems and issues, what they do is they carry weight. Have you ever shared a problem with someone? Just told somebody about the things that are weighing you down. And when you've shared that problem, and you've told a friend, somebody that you confided in, somehow that feeling of like you feel like you've lost some weight, that feeling of weightlessness comes up. It's very powerful. And it's true, because issues carry weight. Many of us carry weight around our upper abdomen, our upper belly. And that's because that's related to the solar plexus. And that's about our control or non-control in a situation. And many of us might be feeling that we're not in control of a situation, an event or a circumstance that we find ourselves in. And so weight can very easily be gained around the middle, upper abdomen. Many people gain weight around the lower belly, below the belly button. And this is all about our relationships and our desire to move forward. We might be suffering in our relationships, so that can create weight in that area. And weight is protection. We gain weight for protection. Notice if you've gained weight, where you've gained the weight. And then when you start dealing with the issues surrounding what's created the weight gain, You will be surprised, without going into any diet or physical exercise regime, the weight will drop. End of year can affect our mood. It can make us more tense, more irritable, more anxious of doing what's expected of us. We might feel a loss of pleasure, so not going out and doing the things that we enjoy doing. We might feel a sense of hopelessness or worthlessness of not achieving all the things that we wanted to achieve. We may feel a level of guilt and not doing the things that we love to do or want to do or thrive to do or feel that's important to us. This martyrdom experience avatar that we might be holding is underpinned by guilt, that we have to carry on whatever. And it might be that we're feeling guilty about something, someone, some situation. So we just carry on regardless. Some people lose themselves in their work. Some people literally can't get enough work done because it's an escape route. So they don't have to think, they don't have to play the part of the comedian, the clown, the happy person. And certainly it is an incredible escape route for many people to be swamped in their work. So they don't have to face the issues and the situations in their personal, their family lives and their relationships. So these are some signs and symptoms that you can look out for when you think somebody might be experiencing challenges at the end of the year. I want to go through my 7 steps to happiness. You'll be surprised how easy these 7 steps are. And yes, it comes from a Buddhism culture, mentality, wisdom. But there's a lot of wisdom in what the Buddhists share. This isn't about religion. This is about being, the way that you live and act in life. Step 1, think less. Remember, I've been saying the mind creates our challenges. Feel more. Step 2, frown less. Because when we frown, we use more energy to frown. Smile more. That uses less energy and less muscles. Talk less. Step 3. And listen more. Because when we talk less, you'll be surprised how much we may learn in our surroundings. Step 4, judge less. When we are full of judgments, that has an impact on the way that we feel. And accept more. Accept the way things are, because it's the judgment that causes us more harm. Watch less and do more. Watch less Netflix, football, movies, the escape routes, and do more of what you love. Complain less, step 6, and appreciate more. The more you complain, the more you bring into your life the things that you're complaining about. Everything is frequency, everything is energy. If you complain, you are bringing more of what you're complaining about. It works. Have a go. Try it. Fear less, step 6. And love more. Fear is the saboteur of the root chakra. And when we fear, we destabilize our entire existence. We move into a place of scarcity. We move into a place of judgment. And we move into a place of survival. When we love more, we move into the place of the heart. We move into a place of compassion. We move into a place of joy. And we move into a place of gratitude. When we are grateful for who we are and how we feel, incredible things can come into our lives. Be grateful for the small things, because everything that you're grateful for brings in more of that vibration and frequency of gratitude. Love more brings in more compassion. These 7 steps are easy, they're simple, and yet they're so simple we forget them. We don't think about them. And yet everyone can do these 7 steps. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't take any more time, and you will feel energized by them. 7 steps to happiness. Let me know how you get on. I'm going to finish and end on Brittany Murphy's quote. Everybody has difficult years, but a lot of times the difficult years end up being the greatest years of your entire life if you survive them. Let me say that again. Everybody has difficult years, but a lot of times the difficult years end up being the greatest years of your whole entire life if you survive them. Brittany Murphy. Thank you for your attention and your interest. Please subscribe to USA Global TV and Radio. You can find all of our Talking Heads episodes under the playlist entitled Talking Heads 2022. Today is my last show of 2022, which is why I've looked at end of year. I'm actually off for Christmas with family on the 27th, which is next week. So next year, I will be back in 2023 with a whole set of new Talking Heads episodes. Please do reach out to me if I may be of service to you. You can contact me on nomorestress@live.co.uk or call if you're international, +44 if you're local, 0523 120 189. I invite you to move out of your mind and into your heart, because when you move into your heart, you can create a feeling and experience of love and compassion. It starts with you. I send you many blessings for a heart-filled end of year and new year. And I look forward to sharing more with you, even more incredible insights and healing in 2023. I feel blessed to be here. Thank you, Dr. Jacqueline, for giving me the opportunity to share, to educate, to inspire. Many blessings to everyone. Namaste.